how do you say wonton backwards?
Not now. Not now, CJ. We gotta film this sequence.
You got it. So Andy, what do you want to talk about today? Today we're going to talk about an interesting topic, and that's the topic of connectors.
Well, we have a pretty unique business opportunity. Our largest client in life sciences, they're putting in a new contract management system, and they use a product for their signature capture called SignNow. And SignNow is an up-and-comer. They're really getting a lot of traction within the life sciences industry space. We have a client that's putting in, a new contract management system, and they have SignNow. So the current system doesn't support SignNow Direct, but yet we have an opportunity to do what we do best and create a connector and allow the client to not have to get rid of one product just for the sake of another.
Yeah. So I mean, SignNow, we also use SignNow for our electronic signature, right? So I think that I can see like how this can bring value to SignNow, right? To the CLM system or any other system that needs to talk to it, right? So and then how we can make this process easy, right? Each SignNow has a set of what's called APIs. These are these techie thingies that allow systems to talk to each other. However, what this connector does is takes that language of computers and converts it into a language of business, right? So it takes the actions that computers need to do, software needs to do, and it creates it into actions that a person like a contract manager can relate to, right? So that's what these connectors are allowed to do.
And then ultimately the goal is to make the user experience similar to what a client would use if they had DocuSign or Adobe Sign, the two standard e-signature platforms out there. So if a client is used to the interface of DocuSign, when they interface it to another system, how are we going to make that experience the same? And I think that was really part of the challenge, is making sure that that the experience in using the application was identical. And then, like I said, once again, SignNow is used corporate-wide for this one client, and they can't change it out. So here's where we come in, and we make two systems talk together.
Yeah. So I think we as a company have a history of having toasters talk to oranges. We make systems talk to each other all over the place. So when we saw this opportunity, first thing we do, look, what's out there, and then we didn't see anything that is an easy plug and play, right? You could use various mechanisms for doing this, but best was to build a layer which will allow us to easily connect to the two systems. And in this example, for this client that we're discussing, they had Agiloft, which is a CLM system that, Agiloft Sequent is a part of one of the partners who focuses on biotech and life sciences for Agiloft. So in this case, we decided to build a layer. So Agiloft comes with what's called an integration hub, right? This is the mechanism for making Agiloft talk to different systems. So, okay, how do we make that, the interaction, how do we make that interaction seamless? Like you said, how do we make that user experience simple? So what we did was we created this connector that allows us to take interactions that a user takes. For example, they would press a button and say, hey, I want this contract to go for electronic signature, right? Now that involves a number of steps. And in computer speak, it allows us to make different calls between systems. So we bundle them, right? So this way, with one click, you're able to get the results of getting that contract ready for electronic signature.
Well, the other thing that was actually, I think really productive is that, a lot of our Agiloft customers are embarking on what's called a self-service model to where they're empowering users, their own users to basically facilitate contract negotiation from drafting a new contract all the way up through negotiating it, all the redlining, and then submitting for an e-signature envelope. So, for those particular users, I think one of the features that we added here, which was, that I know nobody else is using, is this one button click and go.
Yeah.
To where we didn't have to train the self-service user on what they had to do to interface with SignNow. Through the Agiloft interface, they click generate e-signature envelope, and then it grabs who the counterparties are out of the intake form within Agiloft and just takes it right to SignNow, and then generates the outbound notifications that there's a document to be electronically signed. So if you're looking at it from that perspective, we've definitely changed the game there, because all the other user interfaces for that particular function is they click on the generate the document or the e-signature envelope, and then another window pops up. And now they're engaging within DocuSign or Adobe Sign interactively. We've bypassed that measure for a particular use case. Now, for the comfortability of the legal administrator, they still have the ability to generate the envelope and then have that SignNow window pop up. So it mimics identically what DocuSign and Adobe Sign can do. So there's some familiarity with a legal administrator's use of generating the envelope. So for us to be able to offer two different user experiences, one for the less experienced user and one for the legal administrator, I think it's a win-win, and it really does allow these companies to empower the users to have this self-service model for a lot of contracts, which are pretty boilerplate. CDAs come to mind, to where you're not really negotiating a lot of terms and conditions within a confidentiality agreement. Why not allow your users the ability to self-service and negotiate that on behalf of the company?
For any high volume, low legal requirement, this is a good way to do this. And I think this is to your point, the beauty of these connectors is we can make the user experience seamless, right? This is what the goal is. Like any software, anything that you do in life, if the experience is not seamless, the usage, adoption, you'll have trouble with it. So, and at the end of the day, the data quality, you'll have trouble with it. People will try to bypass it. They'll try to shortcut it. So I think what we do from a connector standpoint is we want to make sure that the information that's being captured, that might require, it's like audit ready. So you can see who touched what, when, where, and then all that information gets logged in the eSign platform, and then we bring it back using this connector into Agiloft, so that not only is the user experience the same, but the data that we are collecting is also the same, so that it's audit ready, right?
Well, also the ability to look at the status of the progress within SignNow platform. So, the Agiloft users, the legal team can say, okay, we've signed the document, but we're waiting on the counterparty.
Yeah.
Or the counterparty signed the document, but we haven't signed it yet. Who do we ping on the inside to say, hey, listen, you're a little late with your tasks here. So by being able to pull the statuses as well out of SignNow, so the legal team using Agiloft can see where the document is within SignNow. Also, just as important. Now, you can do that with DocuSign as well, but I think from what we were able to do with this connector, CJ, is to build that like-for-like experience to two systems that have never connected before that we can even find.
True.
There's a lot of wins here. There was some pain points, but I think at the end of the day, Agiloft is a winner here, SignNow is a winner here, and we got one heck of a happy customer.
True. Yeah, that's true. So to the point that you just brought up, what's the good, bad, and ugly? Well, how was the experience? If we were to phrase it in, what was good, bad, and ugly? What would you say?
Well, I think the good is there are no losers here.
True.
The value proposition for engaging, well, one for the investment in a tier one CLM called Agiloft, the investment that they already had in SignNow, which is an up and comer, and then engaging a company like us, Sequent, that can do things that a lot of companies can't, because we're looking at it from the business delivery first, and then we make the technical choices, and then ultimately the work to make it happen. I think what really got me, that is partly the not so good, is the amount of pre-planning that we had to go into to make sure that we were going to do it right. I underestimated the challenge a little bit, knowing all of the different moving parts, and then hearing from you and your technical guys telling me what I should and shouldn't do, not can and can't do, was challenging. And then I think collectively, from us looking at it from a business profile first, it changed my feeling, and it eliminated where I was a little anxious with it.
Yeah, I think for me too, like, the big learning out of all this was, the number of options that we could put together. Like, when we started this, we went down one path, or a set of paths. So we're going to do these two. But then we started learning, hey, I can connect this to this, and I can make the connector do A, B, and C, give this option.
Where do we stop?
Yeah.
Where do we stop putting functionality?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we could take it to the next level, but we had to cap it.
Yeah. So I think which is a point I want to make is, we the way we figured out how to stop is when we focus on the outcome. What is the outcome? Forget the software.
Right.
The beauty of software is it can do anything and everything, right? But I think if we focus on the outcome, focus on the user experience, focus on ease to implement and maintain, that's where we kind of learn big, and created this connector. We are ready. We're here. We're now. There are two systems connected, and there are happy people on all sides. So yeah, thank you all, and talk to you soon.